Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy IV. And welcome to the Lunar Whale, the game's last airship. This thing has everything.
It has inns, it has a fat chocobo, it has a crystal in it, it's just got all the works.
Yep, it even has a built-in fat chocobo, and you do not need Gishal Greens to access it, so now you can basically get rid of those for the rest of the game if you want to.
Why do you need a wizard's hat? I'm so confused.
One thing I am doing here is I'm depositing a rune armlet, the rune armlet, ruby ring, avenger, black cowl, lightning arrow, fumu shurikens, and kitchen nut because I don't really have any use for them. I'm grabbing any light armlets and the power armlet because in the case I didn't have it. With that, let's head to the moon. But one thing I should mention is that if you use the little lever on the top of the ship, you can fly around like normally. To access the moon, you need to use the gem in the center.
Interesting that you called it a gem and not a crystal, because that's probably what it is. It's just a gem and not a crystal, because all the crystals are gone.
Control crystal. Technically.
Heck.
But
That's
welcome
fair.
to the moon. It is a very small area, but it's not without its locations. However, only 3 of those are actual landmarks. The others are all caves. There's that one in the circle, that clearness there, and this cave here.
This cave, that's the Naming Way cave, isn't it?
Yep, this is, in fact, the home of all naming ways, or humming ways, rather. That's right, that bunny man we've been seeing throughout the entire game is a goddamn alien. Oh god, it's getting annoying. However, this one here is a shop, and it's the one shop in the game that sells elixirs at 100,000 a pop. Yeah, no thanks. It also sells a Gishal whistle. I think this is one of the only places in the game that sells Gishal whistles. Those are interesting because they allow you to access the fat chocobo from anywhere. I don't have much use for them, but they're there. Yeah, that's a nice little Easter egg thing. I forget exactly how that functions in the DS version because of the way they changed Naming Way to be a bit of a side quest. But it's not really worth using.
The Naming Way side quest in the DS version, I have heard, is quite hellish.
Oh yeah, it's extraordinarily long too. But our goal is to get to that little weird castle thing, but to get there, we need to go through a lot of side caves. But we get this song, which we haven't heard in a while, and I absolutely love this song.
love this song. I love this song. It's awesome.
Oh boy, monster in a box. We got prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Prokaryotes have 2,600 HP, 7,999 XP, 1,850 gold, not weak to anything, and that's about it, honestly.
The eukaryote is the weaker cousin. It's got 1,700 HP, 6,999 EXP, and 1,560 gil. They can drop Stardust and Lunar Curtains, if you're lucky.
I think the prokaryotes can also poison you with physical attacks, but I'm not sure if I'm remembering that correctly. Good strategy to get through this.
I recall these guys being annoying. I recall, I don't know which one, but poison being a thing.
I think it might be with both of them. A good way to go through it, though, just use, what's it called? Leviathan.
Also, a golden apple, nice drop.
Yep, storing that for later.
Why are you storing them? Just use them now.
I have other ways to do. Oh, and here we got an Abyss Worm. Abyss Worms are first off weak to fire, 7,000 HP, 6,303 experience points, 310 gil. I think they can drop Arctic Winds, which is a thing. But otherwise, they're more or less buffed versions of the bats, because they even use Blood Feast.
Huh.
Which, weird, but I'll take it. And I can also use Leviathan, I think, for the first time in the game. Ah, Hellfire, you would become so much better looking in later entries.
Hellfire.
I'm the god of Hellfire!
Hellfire upon you! Arvis 2017. Because Fire Emblem Heroes.
I need to get that still.
It's pretty decent. I haven't been getting into it as much recently, though.
I enjoy Warriors games, even though they're extraordinarily monotonous. It's just the fact I haven't had the time to buy it. I say as I put 90 hours into Xenoblade 2. Which, by the way, is also a good game.
I might get it, maybe.
I actually like it better than Xenoblade 1 on the whole. I don't think the story's as good at points, but I ended up liking most of the characters more. Villain's better written, that's for certain. And here we get a Lunar Curtain and Stardust. Those might be useful.
Stardust is like a mini version of Meteor, I think. Okay, next enemy is Pudding, or it's Black Flan in this version. 1357 HP, 3044 XP, 1300 gil. They can drop Ethers, Stardust, Lunar Curtains, and Artemis Arrows, funnily enough.
As usual, the strategy you want to take with these guys is toting them. Because it's just the best way to get rid of flans. That's about it.
Probably except for one type of flan. I don't know if they're weak to toad or not.
I forget, actually. Alright, what do we go? Hello there.
Boy.
We got 2 new enemies here. The Lunar Virus, which is my enemy, I believe.
And I have the Dark Grenade.
980 HP, 3,237 XP, 110 gil. Drops basically the exact same thing as the Pro and Eukaryotes. Go ahead, Ken.
Wait, what is happening right now?
This is one of the Dark Grenade's little quirks. If you hit the Dark Grenade with a lightning-type spell of any kind, it starts a chain reaction, killing everything.
Okay, so the Dark Grenade has 1820 HP, 2644 EXP, 630 gil. They're weak to throwing weapons, and oh my god, what? Bomb Fragment, Antarctic Wind, Bomb Core, and the Bomb Summon, if you're lucky.
Yeah, it's something I can't really easily get, but yeah. They can self-destruct as with all bombs, but they're the one bomb you can use it against the enemies. This place looks fancy. Got Prelude going on and everything. Let's cure up, because around the corners here, there are little panels that restore your HP and MP respectively. MP's all I need, though. Let's see what's going on in here. Who said that?
Welcome.
The hell is that thing? Looks like one of the Enertrons.
It's just an innocuous old man. That's fine.
Dr. Light?
Fusoya.
Slumber of the Lunar. What the hell?
Oh boy, he's a Lunarian.
Between the Red Planet and the Great Behemoth?
What?
Escaped on a ship to Blue Planet? A moon where they could sleep.
The red planet might mean Mars. Who knows?
Or the Red Moon.
The Red Moon in 9?
No, in this game, because one of the moons is turning red.
Ah!
One refused
I forgot
to sleep.
there are twin moons in this game.
Wait, do we have aliens? One man trying to raise the... What? You're dumping all sorts of lore on us that we have no idea if we should care about or not yet. Channel is able to the corrupt ones on his planet, uses them to gather the crystal. Oh, shit. So, Golbez isn't even the one behind everything? His name is Zemus.
Zemus.
Gathering the crystals to run an interdimensional elevator. Of course. It's not a JRPG unless you have the villain and then the real villain. Lunarians generally feel like they can come to peace with humanity and waiting for humans to reach our level of... What? Lunar Whale was built by his younger brother Kluya many years ago. Oh, I guess he's still living on the Blue Planet? Created Double Road, introduced airship technology. Oh, must have been friends with Baron.
Oh.
Fell in love and had children. And Cecil's one of them. Wait, so you're our uncle?
Heck.
And the voice we heard on Mount Ordeals was actually our father then.
The soul of Kluya. You resemble him when he was your age.
I love this game, but I've always thought this plot dump kind of comes out of nowhere. If they had hinted more towards Lunarians, Golbez being not the main villain the entire time, or even Cecil's fate a bit more, which I guess is the one they hinted the most out of all those, that would make more sense. But this just kind of comes out of nowhere. Either way, Zemus's current goal is apparently to summon something called the Giant of Babel. It must be related to the tower.
It gets even, in my opinion, it gets even weirder. Like, that's not even the weirdest part with regards to the hints that the game may or may not drop.
Yeah. Either way, Fusoya is more or less another, I'm forgetting dead man's name. Tella. He is both black and white magic, and I got the wizard hat for him in this case. Also, if we come back here, we got some crystals.
He's basically a super-powered red mage, because he knows every black magic spell and every white magic spell.
Yeah, but to compensate for that, he is very fragile.
Very fragile, and he only has 90-something magic points, right? How much does he have?
I forget. Either way, he is useful, and we're going to be keeping him. And also, we got another little plot dump here from the crystals that are somehow talking to us from the moon. I forget if these are supposed to be the ones that Golbez stole or not. I don't think they are. I think they're supposed to be the ones for the moon, and we can't get into there to face Zemus, so, well. Yeah, that's where he would be.
Oof.
Okay, no, these are 8 different crystals, okay.
Okay.
But Fusoya allows us to do a couple of things. We could head back to the Earth to do some stuff, but the moon actually does have one side quest for us to do.
It has a thing that needs exploring, and it's a very important thing, I must say. It's
yes.
quite important.
And we're going to do that right now. We want to head over to here. Notable, I wouldn't recommend doing this on your first playthrough until after the next plot events, or if you're not above level 50, because this next area can be quite painful. Welcome to the Lair of the Father, which uses this theme again. I haven't heard this in a while, actually. And we're immediately led into our next battle against Dark Sage and Moon Maidens. The Dark Sage has 5100 HP, 17,003 XP, 2400 gil. No weaknesses, can drop Soma drops and even ribbons, I think. And it can cast Ice, Break, Death, Fire 3, Osmos, Bolt 3, or Tornado on you, so watch out, kill it quickly.
The Moon Maiden has 4,000 HP, 13,000 EXP, and 3,500 gil. It does not have any weaknesses, and it drops Artemis arrows, Lunar curtains, Minerva's plate, and an Artemis bow.
One thing I forgot to mention, by the way, in the case you run into lunar viruses, sleep them. It's just the best way to go. Self is pretty useful here, but it doesn't really... It's basically just my best damage at this point. Moon Maidens are actually kind of dangerous, though, because their strength is pretty high, so they can do some damage pretty quickly.
Their attack is 122, and their magic defense is 254.
Yeah, that's pretty good. They're hardy. Hence why I'm speeding up this battle, because I think I was here for like 3 minutes or something. Not for a random battle thinking, oh, great. Tornado, too. Yeah, that's the one bad thing about miniing them. I do that to reduce their defenses, but they can still cast their magic. I think they're not vulnerable to Pig, are they? No, I could have pigged them. They're not immune to Toad, though, is the thing. No, they are immune to Toad, rather. Yeah, that hurt.
That was pretty awful.
Ooh,
Genji gloves.
Genji gloves. That's really good for Edge. Genji gloves in 4.
Edge.
I forget their... Wait, what? Did I put them on Cecil instead?
You said they're good for Edge, and then you put them on Cecil.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, that happens. Sorry. I think they're only equipable by Cecil at this point. 8 defense, 5 magic defense, 10 minus 10 evasion, but the 3 magic evasion they have is pretty good for it.
If Kane was not an evil dude now, he'd be able to wear them.
Yep. Either way, we have Armored Fiends, which have 14,000 HP, 18,500 XP, 7,000 gil. They can drop the Rune Axe randomly enough, which is okay, I guess. And they have Flamethrower Beam as normal attacks, which can be kind of painful. But the main thing you actually want to do to get rid of them is threats. Cast Stop on them.
I did not know they were susceptible to that.
They are extraordinarily susceptible to it. They're also, I think, technically vulnerable to Berserk, but you wouldn't want to use that on them. And there they go. And with that, it is out of the count. Not a very threatening enemy, though if you run into it en masse with something else, that could be potentially dangerous. Because I think you can run into up to 2 of them in a battle.
Especially in the last dungeon, I think.
Yep. I think you can also silence the Dark Sages, by the way, but I don't have the time to do that, really. But yeah, one of the main things you're going to be finding in this area is the Genji equipment, which is really good for Cecil. You know why I said Edge immediately? Because that's usually used for Thief, Ninja type characters.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, next enemy is a Bone Dragon. Fun fact, it's almost level 80. It's got 12,000 HP, 14,000 experience points, 6,550 gil. It can drop a Red Fang and a Cursed Ring. Why would you ever want that? It's also weak to fire, so use that.
Yep.
And it's also weak to Holy, I think. Nope, it is not weak to Holy.
Which is inconsistent in the series, by the way. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not.
Most undead things are weak to Holy. At especially in later games.
It might have to do more with the fact that it's technically considered, dragons are generally considered holy things.
Hello, dragon.
Silver Dragon has 7,500 HP, 25,000 experience points, 19,000 gil. Can drop lunar or light currents, and you actually want to get one of those if you can, and silver apples randomly enough. And it can use frost blast or whirlwind, and that can be potentially fatal, but thankfully I have other ways of dealing with them. Namely, I believe it's toad that they're vulnerable to.
You used mini on
okay, it's
the
mini then.
attack
Sorry.
there.
Sometimes when I'm getting my stats up, I can't tell exactly what I'm seeing, so I have to just go on audio.
I wasn't really positive. It could have been it could have been.
It was
that,
mini.
You know.
It was mini.
Okay, it is mini. Okay.
You can also poison them potentially, or sleep them, which are also good strategies to go with, especially if you're getting your ass kicked like I am at the moment. But overall, not too fatal if you run into just one of them. If you run into them with something else, though, you might want to run.
Especially its cousin. It has a cousin.
Yes, it does. Genji armor. That is, I think, 21 defense, 7 magic defense, 4 magic evasion. Really good.
That tiny little narrow hallway gives me suspicion.
And the Genji helm is more or less the same stuff. But what are you talking about? It looks like a perfectly safe walkway. Nothing could ambush us there at all. Oh,
wait,
shit.
Really? This is a behemoth, level 99, 23,000 HP, 57,000 experience points, 65,000 gil. It can drop a headband, power armlet, power sash, and an Avenger.
The behemoths are not random they're not random in battles. In this entire place, you run into about 3 or 4 of them randomly. And, not randomly, in set locations, rather, sorry. It seems random because you always run into them on those little pathways, though.
But you'll soon realize that it's like a fixed place you put that
yeah,
you run into them in a fixed location.
Yes, the way they work is that they will counterattack you no matter what. If you physically attack, they counterattack with normal attacks. With magic, meteor. Thus, you want to go about this by casting Blink or Mirage on your physical fighters, and then Berserk them so that they can have more power to their attacks, as well as free ways to evade.
I was unaware of the meteor. Counter. I thought that was only in Final Fantasy IX.
Or is it Tornado? I think they do Tornado or Meteor in this game.
I can check that, actually. I can check its AI. Let me see if I can do that.
Maelstrom is still very annoying, though, so you want to watch out. I think it might just be Maelstrom, actually. I think 9 might be the Meteor.
It has Maelstrom. The ability it has are Maelstrom.
Okay, so yeah, it's 9 that has the Meteor counterattacking behemoths.
Meteor.
It is a potentially long fight if you, for some reason, decide to use magic on them. But if you want to use magic on them, Mist Dragon or Leviathan, but they're not worth the MP cost at the moment.
Mist Dragon?
Yeah, because non-elemental.
Huh. All
Leviathan because water is rarely resistant in this game. And here's the second one.
Oh, look, another one.
I gotta say, though, this has always been one of my favorite Behemoth sprites, especially in the Super Nintendo version, because there's just been an intimidation factor to them.
I don't know, the one in the Super Nintendo looks kind of silly, in my opinion.
Though easily the most threatening Behemoth is probably the ones from 10. Because they get on their hind legs.
Oh yeah, the ones from 10 are really annoying. I still think the ones from 9 are the worst.
I'm gonna say the ones from 10.
Game over even after killing the super boss.
The ones from 10 have always annoyed me, especially the ones in Sin.
Not for me.
And the original species one. Ooh boy. At least I think there was an original species one. There's one you fight in the arena exclusively. I forget if that's an original species or area monster though.
I think it's original species, but I know exactly what you're talking about, and that one sucks.
Mind you, going after all the monster arena stuff in 10 is tedious as it is. Oh, another headband. That's nice. Don't really have someone to use it with at the moment, but it's there. Either way, heal up. You're gonna want
Very
to.
important.
And set your battle speed and message to a slower number because, just trust me.
For what purpose do you dare disturb the rest of the hallowed father? Oh, you're an interesting one.
So I guess you're the Eidolon king then, even kinglier than the king. Oh shit, Bahamut.
Hi.
Notable, you cannot do this if you haven't defeated Leviathan. Bahamut has 45,001 HP, 35,000 experience points, no elemental resistances, and he starts off with a countdown. The moment he does that, you want to use your light curtains and spider silks on him to not only slow down his countdown, but also to get reflect on yourself, because once that countdown gets to 0, he will use Mega Flare, and that will hurt.
I think it could it's potentially fatal at the level you're at.
Yeah, at the level I'm at.
It deals like 5,000 something. It does like 4,000 something, 3,000.
I think you can defend against it, like with the 3D versions and Tetsuken for some reason, so that'll at least lower the damage amount, but you want to be careful here. You don't want to attack him until he gets that out of the way, because you want to be able to react to what happens to you first. But after that, just go all out, do as much as you can, and God, be careful.
Unfortunately, in Final Fantasy IV The After Years, this strategy does not work.
Yeah, but that's for different reasons, because that's technically a different Bahamut, if I recall.
It's not it's not because it's a different Bahamut. It's because of the enemy that comes with him.
Yeah. And here comes Mega Flare.
Boom, boom, boom.
I reflected
5 reflects.
all 5, so that's going to do, I believe, quad 9s. Or at least like 7,000, somewhere in that range. No, quad 9s. So that's about a fourth of his HP gone. Now I just have to go all out and do stuff.
Reflect doesn't last too long, though, does it?
I forget. Slow is recommendable in this. I think Reflect... no, actually, no, because look at it. It's still going on us. Honestly, I've never been too sure. Because outside of the Bahamut battles, I actually don't use Reflect that much.
I use it against
Whoops.
certain enemies. Uh-oh.
That was a dumbass moment. I forgot I had Reflect on, so I just reflected haste onto him. Whoops. Gotta get slow back on.
I don't know. I honestly think once you get Reflect on, that making the countdown go by putting haste on him is actually a good idea.
Yeah, I debate that because I want to kill him before the second Mega Flare.
I mean, if you still have Reflect on, it doesn't matter, in my opinion.
At this point, just concentrate doing as much damage as you can. Physically attack, Leviathan, so on and so forth. It's all you can really do. Gotta say, though, this has always been one of my favorite Bahamut designs.
I do like the Bahamut design in this one.
Looks like he's bouncing on his tail.
It looks like he's dancing a little bit, yeah.
I believe no matter what you do in this fight, I think Reflect will last at least 2 Mega Flare cycles. However,
I can't believe it lasts that long.
Whether or not you get it to work properly, depending on how quickly you can react to what your battle speed's on, is a different story entirely. Theoretically, if you have enough dexterity with casting Reflect, or getting enough Lunar Curtains, / whatever one you cast Reflect off the top of my head, I forget again. You can just let him kill himself. However, that's a very dangerous strategy, and I do not recommend.
I've actually had that happen before, where he just uses Mega Flare on himself and then he dies. So that's how I beat him on the Super Nintendo version. In fact, that's how I beat most enemies in the game.
What you could theoretically do is just let everyone but one character die, and then just have, and that character being Rosa, of course, and just have her cast Reflect on herself over and over again until the Bahamut dies. But I have other things to do. But now we get Bahamut, who is the best summon in the game.
So good.
I believe it's defense piercing non-elemental damage? Or is that 7s? Nope, just massive non-elemental damage. Costs a lot of MP, though. I think it costs 60 here.
60.
But with that, our business on the moon is concluded, so let's head back to Earth and hopefully do stuff before that giant Babel thing happens. And by the way, this is what my equipment is looking like right now, in case you're curious. Got the lightning claws on because there's a lot of machine-type enemies coming up for reasons. Same with the lightning arrows. Though Artemis arrows are still recommendable to have, as is the Moonring Boomerang and all that. And let's use the Enertron because we're kind of hurting, and I think I have to grab or store some stuff. I do know I gave Fusoya the extra fairy rod, wizard hat, and rune armlet. Where are we on these notes?
Wait, where'd you get all the Artemis arrows? Can you buy those?
No, no, actually, I grinded those. The Moon Maidens can drop them. And I think I also stole from them, too. So I just took like an hour.
How long did that take you?
An hour-ish, maybe.
Heck. How much do they drop?
1 or 2 at a time, but if you steal, it's like 1 at a time, but with the fast forward function and a certain strategy, 20 minutes, maybe?
Well, that's not too bad, I suppose, but still, that's pretty awful. I'd much rather spend my time trying to get a pink tail.
Uh-oh, what's going on here? The tower is... crap, we're too late.
We are too late.
What do we mean, too late? The giant of Babel has been summoned.
Forth.
That doesn't look friendly. You know what would be hilarious, though? All this build-up for, like, something the size of a bunny.
That'd be cool.
And by the way, this is easily the best design of the Giant of Babel, because the way it looked in the DS version was silly. I'm sure that's fine. Oh.
I like the way it looked in the Super Nintendo version. It actually looked kind of cool. It looks kind of like a weapon from Final Fantasy VII.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if developmentally the Giant of Babel was like the first conceptual weapon. Well, shit, that's not good. What's what? We can't see outside this thing. You gotta need to describe. Someone's fighting back.
Who is it?
The Red Wings?
Red Wings and the dwarf cannons.
How did they get up here? I suppose they just took airships down and carried stuff up, huh? Jot's up here, Luca's up here.
Lally ho!
Yang's back up and handy.
Yang's back. Yay!
Notable, if you didn't do the thing with Sheila and the pan, he would still get up here. Sid's up and relaxing. All legends, full power.
Yes, sir.
Everyone's here. Wow,
It's
actually,
such
everyone
a
is
good,
here.
Nice reunion. Oh my God, Palom and Porum are alive.
Thanks, Elder. I don't know why you didn't do this earlier. Would have been nice to have these two back, but okay.
That was one thing I didn't really like about this moment right here was that, like, there's no explanation as to how.
Oh, hi, we're here.
There is no super soft.
And Edward's here to help as any way he can. He's probably just going to do moral support because, let's be honest, he can't do much. All right, now take the Lunar Whale and ram into it. Pretty sure that would do a lot, right?
I'm sure that would do quintuple nines, if that's possible.
By the way, they're confusing the giant, and this does give us an opening. So let's enter the Giant of Babel. Sure we don't just want to destroy it? All right, I guess we're doing that.
Go destroy its heart.
Sid, pick us up.
Oh my God,
fly
this is
us
such a
on
good
over.
song. Oh,
This
song
is
so good.
My favorite song in the game. I think it's just called Within the Giants. It only plays
Within
in
the
this area. But my God, it's so good.
I actually own the OST on iTunes, and the song is called Within the Giant, and it's so good.
All right, so I got the name right. Good.
Yeah, you did get it right.
All right. Hang on. What for what? Oh, you mean to ourselves. Okay. Oh, here we go. And now I believe we're in the giant's mouth.
Yeah, we're in the giant's mouth.
Yeah, because we're walking on its tongue.
What?
Also,
Can it just flick us out?
I don't know. Maybe it doesn't have muscle control, but I am putting the battle mode on to keep for something in this area in case I run into it. The Giant of Babel, similarly to the Tower of Babel earlier, is a lot of machine-type enemies, hence why I brought the Lightning Claws and Lightning Arrows. And we also have 2 new enemies here. I believe the Clockwork Soldier is yours?
It is, and I'll go with them first. They've got 4,900 HP, 7,999 HP, 985 gil. They drop Lightning Arrows, Zeus Wrath, Heavenly Wrath, and a Blue Fang. And they take 4 times damage from hammer weapons and lightning weapons.
As well as anything that takes advantage of machine-type stuff like lightning, elemental things. The Beam Cannon has 3,000 HP, 3,199 XP, 890 gil, and more or less the exact same stuff. Can drop tents or Heavenly Wraths. Beam is not very painful. I forget exactly how it works in 4.2. I want to say it's 1/10 of the character's max HP. Which, nothing really to worry about there.
I love how spells can do 1 damage in this game, because this is like one of the only games where I've seen a level 1 spell do 1 damage. Because even in 9, where you can attack like a Grand Dragon or something that takes half damage from lightning and it's level 60, you can still do at least like 30 damage to it.
Yeah.
It's pretty hilarious.
But this is one of the main reasons I held on to the Lightning Claws this long, because being able to do quadruple damage to exploiting the creature type is really good. You're going to be healing up a lot here, though, because this place has some powerful enemies.
Shuriken.
Shuriken, is that the first one we got into those? I don't think it is.
Nope. Here we have an armor construct. It's got 10,000 HP, 31,000 experience points, 1,500 gil. It's basically just a weaker version of the Armored Fiend. It drops the Cabin, Ogre Axe, Venom Axe, and the Rune Axe, and that's really it, apart from being a machine, and it takes heavy damage from lightning thing.
One thing I should note about the beam cannons, though, the best way to take them out is just to use Quake. Because Quake is so powerful at this point.
And this is the best grinding spot in the game, I think.
Yes, but I don't do that until the last floor for reasons. I got neither. Not bad.
Ethers are nice. You can also get a Soma drop from one of these chests, I think.
Yoichi arrows, not bad either. Oh, now we got Centaurians. These guys you also want to use Quake on. Centaurians have 3,500 HP, 9,699 XP, 1220 gil, can drop tent or cottages randomly enough. And that's about it. Again, I believe they're considered machine type, so Lightning Claws is really good here. I think they're immune to Toad, so you can't go anything with that. But otherwise, they're probably the most vanilla enemies in here.
Most vanilla.
Yep. I believe one thing we forgot to mention about the Armored Construct, though, is that if you use lightning attacks on it, it'll actually counter with electromagnetism, which inflicts stop.
I think it's pretty funny, because the first time I ran into electromagnetism, it didn't tell me that I was under the stop status, so I was really confused.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Siren. You got a free siren out of that.
Yep. You're going to want a lot of those.
Whoa, why did you get rid of all of your items? I'm so confused.
I didn't. I reorganized my inventory.
Oh.
Silver apple. Hold on to that for later.
That's weird. It just looked like you didn't have a lot of equipment at all.
Well, I did store stuff, don't get me wrong. Someone dropped that as being used by Edge again because he doesn't have the MP.
I see. You were scrolled way down. That makes sense.
Yep. Someone drops as usual, go to Edge because he needs the MP to use his ninja skills. Searcher.
Okay, the next enemy is a Searcher. It's got 5,500 HP, 15,004 EXP, 900 gil. It doesn't drop anything. Wow, that's interesting. It doesn't even drop sirens.
I think it technically does. I think the wiki might be wrong about that because I think I recall seeing that.
That's probably true. I thought every Searcher enemy dropped sirens.
These enemies are why I set my thing to keep earlier, because if I just have Edge steal, everyone else guard, and Rosie use prey, when Edge fails a steal, he'll take a good little bit of damage that can be just healed with a prayer. However, doing this, I can get infinite sirens. Did
you just, go make yourself a sandwich or something while this loop happened?
Kind of. You'll see how many I got. I do go a bit overkill there.
2 stacks of 9,900, 2 stacks of 99. Because that's what I did.
This is one of the only places you can do this in the game, and I do recommend it. Let's take a look at how many I got. All right. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Get out of here. You're looking ugly.
What? What do you mean get out of there? You could have just used it.
Nah, I got enough. I think I got
It's free experience points. You could have done the thing.
I'm fine.
Makes me angry to see you do that. It's 1 siren.
Monster in a box.
Monster in a box.
Optic Blaster. Optic Blaster is basically another Searcher. I think you can even steal sirens from them still. 9,500 HP, 8,703 XP, 338 gil. Yeah, they drop sirens still. I believe they have something called magnetic radiation, but I think that's just an electric attack. It's actually a very vanilla enemy. Just using lightning claws and such. Yeah, they can stun me, so that's nice. Not very threatening.
Is stop permanent in this game, or is it not?
You can cure it with Asuna, but I forget if it is permanent. I actually haven't even gotten it on every party member, so I'm not sure what happens in that case.
Because in 9 it's a game over, in 6 it's not a game over, in 7 it is a game over, in 8 it is a game over. 5, I think it's a game over, and 4, I don't really know.
It doesn't really matter, but we do get a free elixir for finding that, so it's pretty worth it.
Pretty nice.
And with that, I believe we are on what's considered the main final normal floor here. There's a save zone here, which I'm going to actually use a tent at and save here because this floor here is my favorite place to do level grinding in the entire game. I'm not doing it until next part, I believe, but I do recommend putting on the Moon Ring Blade as well as the Kikuichi Manji for stuff coming up. And replace your lightning arrows with the Yoichi arrows for stuff coming up as well. However, if you're going towards the main next floor, use the Aura Staff instead.
Alrighty. I'm excited because I actually just learned about the goodness of the grinding on this floor, and I got to level 99 really fast.
Level 99's a bit too far for me. But with that, we're going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 14, we're going to be backtracking onto the floor to do a little bit of level grinding through my main method, and then heading up into that next room to see what awaits us. See you guys then.